what is a high-end movement? And why will this explode your business if you are a woman of leadership, charisma, faith, creativity, innovation, performance, artistry, connection? Like, if you really thrive on human connection and relationships, like you started your business because you love talking with women, and that's why you started this in the first place, and you're a natural born leader, you're highly competitive, you're a powerful woman, you're going to love this episode. I really believe that it's going to blow your mind when it comes to what it actually looks like to build a high-end movement. So a high-end movement, what's different about that versus, say, a regular movement or a regular online service-based business where people are selling info products, is that a high-end movement is focused on depth. And it's focused on depth in a multitude of ways. In your messaging, so it's deep versus surface level. It's specialized versus generalist. It's queen-driven versus pawn-driven. So in a high-end movement, your messaging is highly specific. It's deep. But it's also deep in your client relationships. And I really started to discover that Freedom Queen was a high-end movement in 2024. And that's why the more that I dug deeper into high-end, the more money I started to make, the more of the right people started to come in, the more pay in fulls I got, the higher the investments were, the better the client experience, the more laughter I had with clients, the more my coaching calls felt like a retreat than they felt like work. Like everything changed for me when I pivoted from movement to high-end movement, and I started to dive deeper and deeper into this work in 2024. And that's why my income exploded. And so high end is about depth with people as well. And if you started your business like I did because you love people, you'll really understand what I'm talking about. So a lot of people in their service-based businesses, they teach you like not connection with people, don't be with other humans, don't talk to people. But I built my entire business off of building relationships with people. And over the last couple of years, I've been able to build relationships with people without being one-to-one. So in the beginning of my business, yes, it was totally one-to-one. It was like one-to-one to the max. That's all I really did. I talked to everyone. But as I scaled, I realized I was able to still grow a company that is a high-end movement without sacrificing that depth. Like every single person still felt like they were a part of the Freedom Queen brand without talking to Bridget James Ling. And that's an actual scalable company. How cool is that? And so I started realizing really in 2024 that high-end movements was the way. Depth, quality, let's go narrow together, specialists, like speaking to, I'm going for a walk in my neighborhood, speaking to one client versus speaking to the many. Like I started to realize this in a way that I never had before in business, and it paid off literally, and it also paid off in my mindset and how I was leading inside of my company. So high end is depth and across the board. It's depth in your client connections, the conversations that you're having with people, but it's also depth in your offers. So your offers could literally be anything. Your offers could be a book, an event, a coffee meetup, a behind the scenes of your life, a movie series, a TV show, a new piece of content that you're creating. It could literally be anything you want it to be, and people will buy it from you because it's high end. I have seen other people in the marketplace try and sell things and then it flop because they didn't actually build in the depth with their customers. They didn't actually build, truthfully, they don't really have a real brand. It's a coaching copy inside of an industry versus creating an individualized company focused on depth, which comes down to your offers. Like, I know I have a high-end movement because last year I was able to sell the weirdest offers. Like, I sold an offer that was a couple $100. It was the price of most people's courses on behind the scenes of me traveling to Dubai. It was called the Dubai Experience, and it was exquisite. Like, that offer was one of our most raved about offers. I sold a live event, the first one that had ever been done in the marketplace like this. And that was a raving success. Like, that was insane. I sold memberships, masterminds. I sold so many different things, and everybody bought them. And that's because I didn't just do surface level my offers. I did offers that were focused on my core values, which is creativity, innovation, being able to live the life that I want to live, freedom queen, fun. Like, I actually enjoy the offer while everyone else is like launching offers they don't like. I'm like, I love this offer. This is so good. This is so juicy. I'm obsessed with this. Someone once said to me, one of my mastermind clients, she was like, Bridget, you could sell like a ski trip and everyone would buy it from you. Why is that? Like, why is that? And I'm like, it's because of a high-end movement. It's depth over surface level. And there are certain ways that you can do this at scale. You can do this, and I don't mean at scale, meaning at like huge volumes and numbers of people. Well, I do mean that because I do have huge volumes and numbers of people. But I more so mean at scale financially. And you do this through moving away from being a generalist in your messaging. Like, a generalist is known for many different things, and a bunch of other people are doing it, and it's pretty regular messaging. And so that's what you're going to get paid. If you're just a business coach, you're going to get paid as a business coach. But if you create something, I dare you in 2025 to create a new name that's never been done before. You create a new title that no one's ever seen. Well, now you're hyper valuable because diamonds are rare, so they're more valuable because they're rare. So the more that you become this specialist, this queen and not the pawn, this different in the marketplace, different in what you're teaching people and how you're teaching that to them, the more you actually create this entirely new company of its own, the more you'll transcend problems that other people have in their businesses. The more your strategy will become entirely unique to you because you're no longer trying to fit into the mold or the box of what other people are doing. And the more you actually build the company that you want to be uniquely building, which is a company. The other way that you can create depth with individualized people is through creating a common narrative. So inside of real movements and brands, let's think of like a Dior as an example, a luxury brand, a high-end brand. They are very clear on who they're for. Down to around Christmas time, when there's lines out the door, they make you wait and you can't go in until there's a certain amount of people in the room for you to enter. They make all of the women paint their nails red. Dior has stories around each of its products. The Lady Dior bag that I now own, I got for Christmas this year from Robbie. It has a story, a narrative around it. So without even talking to Christian Dior or the execs at the top right now, I feel like I know the brand now, like I am a part of it, because they've created shared stories and narratives that make people feel like they belong there, that make people feel like I'm not just a number, but I'm a part of this story that's being written. I'm a part of this adventure book. I'm a part of this thing, and I'm never going to leave this thing because now it means something more to me than just buying. And what I've seen happen with most movements or coaching businesses or most communities or online service providers is everything is about just getting the customer in, but nothing is about actually retaining the customers. Nothing is about retention and client experience. And this is something that I massively focused in 2024, and I'm pioneering in a really big way in 2025. Like, I'm dominating the online space with high-end movements, with building this way, because when you build this way, you are going to have your people stay with you forever. Like the clients, my first client ever is still with me to this day. That is so remarkable. That is so rare. Majority of my clients continue to re-sign and re-sign, or they take a break and then come back and re-sign again and again. We are together forever because there's brand loyalty. Do you have brand loyalty in your company, or do you have an online coaching business? Do you have depth with your customers? Do you have quality? Do you have world-class experiences? And so something I'm pioneering in 2025 is a lot of quality over quantity, depth over surface level, teaching you how to retain your customers more than you focus on getting new customers. Teaching you how to create brand loyalty to the point where you have this following, this family, you've created like a cult of people that are so obsessed with what it is that you all are doing together that they're not leaving. They're like, I'm in this for life. Like, I'm a lifer. I'm not going anywhere. I'm bought into this. That's what I'm obsessed with teaching you. And going from movement to high-end movement in 2024 changed my entire life. Because it became less about doing more and more about refining and defining what it is that I was known for, which is building high-end movements through my unique way of innovation, creativity, and connection, selling world-class offers to people that actually want to buy them, and then being a charismatic leader, being a woman of influence. The kids are outside playing. Being a woman of influence, like being someone that people want to follow. When I started tying these things in and really becoming known for it and stopped focusing on, okay, I'm going to put in these reps, I'm going to do a bunch of different things, and just focus on building this high-end piece, my business exploded to 400K cash months. Like, that's insanity. And it became easier. I was just talking to someone recently. I'm like, everything's easier now. It's easier because I'm not focused on trying to get new constantly. Yes, we obviously do visibility, but I'm more so focused on doubling down on what I already have, creating depth with the humans that are in front of me. I think oftentimes, this is something that used to really bother me in the beginning of my business. People would assume, they would talk about marketing as if there weren't real humans behind the screen, as if there wasn't another human with a beating heart behind the screen, like, hi, I'm there. They'd be like, what do I say? I'm like, I don't know. What would you say to someone who's standing in front of you? How would you help them? Like, we were called to do this work. You were called to be on a mission to get this message out into the marketplace. You use your media to attract everyone. You monetize it and you multiply it. You were called to do this. And so I have been able to build the business the way that I've been able to build it because I focus so much on depth with people, on human-to-human connection, on relationships, on brand loyalty, on having a specific message in the marketplace, on creating world-class experiences for clients that don't exist anywhere else, on creating offers for people that literally, if some majority of people try to sell them, people wouldn't buy them. And it's because of this method that I've lived by and I've been the walking sales page of for many years. And I've helped so many other people do the same. And it's the method that I am pioneering even more so in 2025. Because I think what's really happening right now is a lot of people are realizing, there are some people realizing that they want to build a real business, and there are other people realizing they don't want to or haven't built a real business and need to get their stuff in check in order to make that happen, in order to have a real trademarked company, a brand, have brand loyalty, like to be able to really move people, to move the masses to do what you want them to do, to drop a random offer and everybody buy it, to have to reschedule an event and be able to move majority of the people to the new date. Like, these are things that after experiencing so many of them in the last 4 years, I'm like, I feel like it's clicked in a way that it just has never clicked before. You're not here to build just like some ordinary thing. You're here to build a high-end movement, luxury, depth, relationships, connections, beautiful, lifelong client coach relationships that you never forget about them. Like, you two become people that are working together forever. There's so much brand loyalty. They're like, I'm going to go back to that company again and again and again. High-end movements are different. They're qualitative, not quantitative. And I'm so excited to pioneer this work this year and bring this forward even more inside of my programs. And I can't wait to see what you do with your high-end movement.